Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. We're back with Towing the Rubber. It's been a bit of a while since we've had a show, but we are going to be here do power rankings. We're going to very quickly reveal 30 through 16, me and Johnny, and then we're going to go ahead and spend more of our time breaking down 15 through 1 because those are the better teams and stuff. We're a month, almost pretty much a month into baseball now, but at the same time, it's still a small sample size for 162. So there's a lot of change that can still happen, but some teams that we didn't expect to be bad are playing really bad. So we'll go ahead and just show what we're going to be looking at today. So this is going to be what our graphics going to be for today. We'll go ahead and quick reveal soon, but really quick, Johnny's going to explain the two stats that we kind of looked at along with standings to make these power rankings.
So we use the expected standing, which uses run differential to show how much what a team's actual record should be, and then we wanted to use pitching performance and hitting performance. So we used xFIP, which FIP is fielding independent pitching. So it only accounts for what the pitchers does. It doesn't account for defense. And obviously defense is a part of the game, so there's more. But on a baseline, just to see how well the pitching is performing outside of defense, because there aren't that many errors per game. So, and then xFIP just makes it more comparative to the rest of the league instead of just like one guy's home run rate. So it's an ERA predictor for what a team's actual ERA should be instead of what it actually is. So, and then for offense, we use weighted runs created plus, which uses WOBA. And this one, it sounds hard, but it's on base percentage, but it values like homers, triples, and doubles more than like a single. Like regular on base percentage is just how often you're getting on base, but WOBA use it like home runs are more important than a single to WOBA, which is just a good thing. So it shows the overall production of a hitter. And then weighted runs created plus is on a scale. 100 is average, so above 100 is good, right around 100, like 10 to either side is okay, and then 89 and like below is not where you want to be in WRC plus.
Yeah, any plus stat is weighted out of 100 is average, and then higher and lower. So you just want to go ahead and reveal 30 through 16? So this is 30 through 16. Mets, we wanted to not even include on this list, but
we were going to make a gag. We were going to put the number one minor league AAA team in 30th, but the Mets won last night, ending their 12-game losing streak. So we had to make changes to that. But the Mets are really bad. They lost 12 in a row. Yeah, they lost 12 in a row, and then they won last night, but they are not hitting well at all. They are 29th in WRC plus. They are pitching a little bit, if I'm correct.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah, they're 5th in xFIP, and they're actually like the ERA, the regular just baseline ERA isn't even that bad, but when you lose 12 games, the power rank, you're just not.
I mean, it's mainly the hitting. Like McLean had a perfect game into the 6th, their 12th loss, and then Clay Holmes yesterday was doing really good in their win. But yeah, it's mostly just been not good hitting. Obviously, like the Senga was up and down. He had started season pretty good, and then the Cubs kind of lit him up in his most recent start. So Mets been up and down. Philly now has the longest losing streak in baseball, which the Cubs are going to try to add to more tonight.
And the Phillies, we skipped over the Royals, but the Royals have just been, they're not hitting well either. 24th in WRC plus, and I don't think they're pitching. Yeah, they are 24th in both categories. 24th in xFIP and 24th in WRC plus. So they're just not, and they have the worst record, not of the Phillies and Mets. So the combination of not pitching, not hitting, and actual game product has them at 29. And the Phillies now have the longest losing streak in baseball. They're pitching, but they're not even. Their team ERA is actually 5, but their xFIP is actually the number 1 in all of baseball. So you could say they're getting unlucky, but when you lose 8 in a row, it's saying the same thing as the Phillies. They are pitching, but they're not hitting. They're 26th in WRC plus. So
on the Phillies, it's Harper's doing fine, Schwarber's doing good, and then Crawford, and then they're all doing good, and then no one else is hitting. Like they're not even fine. Like it's just bad. Bohm We saw yesterday playing because
He was
watching the
2 of
Cubs game.
36 coming into last night.
Ramuto's hurt, so they got Marcon catching. They have a first baseman I've never heard of playing there yesterday.
Not the start this team expected. Then the Rockies, just kind of what you expect. They've been fun. Like they're kind of like they win the series versus the Dodgers.
I think so.
They won a series versus the Dodgers, but still overall in the year they have been great.
Overall, these teams are just low. I think we kind of
like it's what you expected. Like they're honestly playing like you would expect these teams to be, like the Rockies and White Sox and Nationals. You probably would have expected to be the bottom 3 coming into the year, but the Royals are worse than expected, and the Mets and Phillies are really worse than expected. So these teams aren't playing like terrible compared to expectations. So I don't want to like knock these teams. It's just what you expected. Yeah. The White Sox made history actually. Murakami and Colson Montgomery
are
the first pair of teammates to homer in 4 consecutive games with each other. So they're like the White Sox are a fun team to watch. Like the NBA kind of has this where there's these like young teams where it's like you just like watching their certain guys. The White Sox are one of these teams.
Speaking of fun, young teams.
Yeah.
That's
Then the Red Sox will go a little bit in depth on them because they should be better, but they are not pitching really well. They're 16th in xFIP, but their Rangers getting blown up, and Garrett Crochet's been bad. Like Garrett Crochet's been legitimately bad to start the year, and then they also have an offense problem, 28th in WRC plus with an offense that should be way higher than that. So that's kind of where the Red Sox struggles stem from.
Yeah, it's been a struggle for the Red Sox, but they're not the only team in division struggling. Blue Jays as well are struggling due to, I mean, Bo Bichette's not really lining up with the Mets stuff, but he's gone. Andres Jimenez is the new shortstop. Okamoto looked good, and then he's getting figured out, so now he has to adjust back with the league pretty early. So it's just kind of what can the Blue Jays can adjust. They're still putting the ball in play. Like, that's what they did last year, and that's why they were so good last year. They still put the ball in play, so it's just, can they start getting results? Vladdy's not got that many homers this season, but he's hitting over 300. So it's just, what can the Blue Jays do? They're pitching. They have decent pitching. The problem
is second in the major
because that's team. I bet the starters are top 15 in the league, if not probably higher in the top 15.
Overall xFIP, but you're just saying
the bullpen, and the bullpen is probably bottom 5 in the league.
Been bad, and then Jeff Hoffman.
Everyone's been bad, but Louis Varland and Tyler Rogers, I believe. Yeah. They're going to reassess Jeff Hoffman's closer status. Probably put Louis Varland in there. In my opinion, I'd probably go Tyler Rogers. Like, he's not your Mason Miller closer. Mm-hmm. He's not really. There's not many closers like him, but he's more Mariano Rivera, like kind of, because Rivera didn't strike out that many guys. Honestly, it's just
soft contact.
It's soft contact, and that's what Tyler Rogers does. It's just then the Blue Jays defense has to lock in when that happens because the ball's going to get put in play, and it's just going to be weak contact. Like I saw one of his first outings, he didn't let up a run, but 2 singles happened off weak contact. So it's just Blue Jays defense needs to really lock in when it's the 9th. Because it's just going to be a lot of weak contact, because that's what Tyler Rogers is good at.
We'll cover a couple of the other teams in this area, like the Nationals, same thing as the White Sox and Rockies. Just didn't expect them to be good, and they really haven't been. The Whites, they're not like terrible by once again, just not terrible by any means, but not doing anything special. Then the Astros are injuries. The entire pitching staff's banged up. There's another team that has a lot of injured starters, but is hitting really well, and it's working out. We'll get to them a lot later because they're playing very well. The Astros are the third best offense in Major League Baseball, though, by WRC plus. So expect them when this pitching staff gets back. Jordan's looking like an MVP right now. If they win 70 games and he continues this pace, he'd win MVP. Will either of those things happen? We don't know yet.
Yeah.
The Giants, lower than expected. They're pitching 7th in xFIP, but I think the offense is where they are failing mightily. 25th in WRC plus. So, and they're the worst team in the NL West or second to worst? Them and the Diamondbacks are close at the bottom.
No, Diamondbacks 14 and 10.
Oh, never mind. Who's below them then?
Giants
the
Rockies.
Rockies, yeah. Sorry. Kind of blanked at the Rockies in the division. But
Diamondbacks probably should be a bit higher, but it doesn't matter. But they're still not a top 15 right now. Yeah. They lost yesterday to
so then Devon went depth on the Blue Jays. We talked about the Diamondbacks.
Orioles haven't really
Diamondbacks-
done.
The Diamondbacks are hitting, but 20th in xFIP, so you could, when you're that low in the expected, and they're already not pitching well regularly, it's not a recipe for repeated success.
Orioles, not really much that I can think off the top of my head. I know Gunner's been was
They're
slow to
just mid.
start.
They're in the middle of the pack.
Yeah.
They're not winning a lot of games, and then they're 13th in xFIP, 15th in WRC plus. So when there a lot of these teams, like from 19 to probably 13, all these teams are just in the middle of both categories. So you kind of just have to use the on-field results.
So, and then the Cardinals, they are third in the NL Central. NL Central's proven to right now be the hardest division in baseball and the best division. So, but the problem with the Cardinals is they're going to be the lowest for the NL Central due to the fact that if you look at run differential,
They're really bad.
they're the worst.
They're 28th in xFIP and they're 20th in WRC plus. So this success is most likely not repeatable for them. So we had to knock them because they aren't. The NL Central is another team that is basically identical to this, but they
Are
have
in
put on a
first.
better on-field product. So we have to value the on-field product a little bit, but that team will probably drop if we were to continue to do power rankings. The Rays, same thing as the Orioles, mid in every category. Mid in wins, mid in pitching, middle of the pack of record too. The Marlins, the same thing goes for them. They are hitting well, 9th in WRC plus in the league, but only a 103, so they're not even like a lot
So
above
mid.
average.
Pretty
Just-
much mid.
Yeah, and then they are. My screen just lagged out, so hold on. I was trying to pull up their pitching, but I
I
don't think
think mid in pitching.
17th in pitching.
Yeah.
So once again, it's just a lot of these middle of the pack teams are hard to gauge because of what's going on, and I think we're going to continue to do that by throwing up the entire AL West. Do we just want to do back to back
I mean,
to back?
yeah. So me and Johnny haven't really talked about this. This is going to be live, figuring out where to go in the next 20 minutes. We'll pretty much just go
Cover
ahead and
these last
cover these.
20 teams. We were looking at it, like we've been looking at it, but we were trying to figure out who goes where.
Here's the
like-
problem. My one problem is, the Brewer. What do we do with the Brewers? Because they're last technically
What they're
in the
like
division. They're
13 and 9.
13 and 10. Like,
Yeah.
so they are like, that's not bad, but they are last. So what weight do you put?
They're 15th in pitching and 10th in hitting. So, but like the A's aren't top 10 in hitting. You know what I mean? So like when the A's are 25th in pitching and 22nd in hitting, I think they're the worst of this bunch.
Or
They are-
Seattle. What's Seattle? I think Seattle may be 15
They're 6th in
pitching, but where's
Pitching.
hitting it? 'Cause I know it was bad at points.
They were really bad to start the year, but they jumped all the way to 12 in hitting. So literally the entire AL West could fill up 15 to 12.
Yeah, the problem is I like the A's, but they're in first. Is the only weird thing. 'Cause
Okay.
we're giving.
It's just hard though because they have the worst, like they're the worst average of pitching and hitting of the AL West, and they have a negative run differential. So
Yeah, they're the only one with night. Yeah,
it's hard to gauge. So,
So,
then I think we just throw
A's.
A's, Rangers. The AL is just so bad. So it's like the AL is not performing well across the board. So it's hard
Honestly,
to
who
gauge.
makes the wild? Like, if playoffs started, who makes wild card?
There's like a three-way.
It's
They have a bunch of teams that are 12 and 10.
It's Rays, Tigers, Twins. That's who makes the wild card for AL. Like, nothing great, and then Seattle. So it's just a mid for all four of these teams. There's not really much.
And then I think we're gonna. I don't know where to.
Brewers.
Maybe.
I mean, they're last.
Yeah. So the Brewer, but they're statistically not the worst. It's just because they're in a hard division. Like they'd
Yeah.
be first in other divisions.
They
so it's hard to
would.
Like, it's
But
hard
here,
to-
obviously, the other three NL Central teams are higher. The Yankees, the Dodgers, the Padres are higher.
the Cubs are. I think we just tossed the three AL Central teams. Minnesota being in last because they are not. They're 22nd in xFIP, 16th in WRC plus. so they're not really doing anything.
Twins.
wrong.
I say Guardians, Tigers.
Then Guardians, Tigers. The Tigers are the best team in the division. Like statistically, they just haven't proven it yet. The Guardians have a negative run differential, but that's what they do. So we're not
So
going to knock them.
disgusting.
Like sometimes the expected stats just never align. There's players who outperform their expected every year. The Cubs have Shota Imanaga, who his rookie year was expected. Like the Statcast looked worse than he actually was. Then last year he kind of fell into that, but he still finished with a sub-4 ERA, and he's not the Cubs 2 or 3 anymore. So
Yeah.
like when you have a 4 who has a 3.96, who cares? And then this year he's back to a 2.25, and I can guarantee his Statcast isn't very high. So there's some teams are like this. The Guardians are always gonna be better than expected. So I think this is where we toss the Brewers at 8.
They're last in the division, but we're
Well, this is they're good. So it's like they're good statistically. It's hard to.
Yeah, I know. It's just
they're
Cardinals.
not bad.
Cardinals are over here at 18 that are above them technically, which is just
But
like
the Cardinals don't do either.
I know they don't. The pitching's horrible. Honestly, they get lucky,
28th and
but they're not the only team that.
so the 7th will go to Cincinnati Reds. The first place in the NL Central, Cincinnati Reds.
Let-
are
wait,
down at
let's-
7.
Let's spend a minute on them. Let's
We'll go more in depth because
let's do Brad.
this is the most insane thing I've ever seen in the sport. They are 27th in expected FIP. So,
They've played 25 games. So in
25
25 games, this is what is
25
happening.
games. They are 16 and 10, 16 and 9.
16 and 9.
They're 16 and 9 with a 4.7 xFIP. They have a 4.47 expected ERA, so that's just what your ERA should be using like rate stats compared to their 3.58 actual ERA. So we know we talked about that's what's keeping them here is they're winning games and the on-field product hasn't been bad, but none of this is sustainable unless they because like the Guardians are outperforming the 16th best team in Major League Baseball expectations. The Reds are outperforming a bottom 5 team in baseball expectations. So we don't know. You could have put them below the Cardinals if we exclusively
Yeah.
went off. I think the only thing the Cardinals have them beat in is don't have them beaten is run differential. Yeah. So
Reds
like-
are -2 run differential in first place.
the Reds 4.73 xFIP, and then they're the worst offense in baseball. So like this one, they're not even like. And WRC plus is not an expected stat. Like this actually weighs your
is-
on-field
yeah.
product. So they've just been the worst offense in baseball.
It takes into account the ballpark as well, though. So
Yeah.
like that's kind of why. So like it's going to lower their
Them and the Rockies, like that's why hitters at
That's why Rockies
Coors
are-
Field never get like signed anywhere else, or they don't get big contracts even though they should because their expected number they're.
Yeah. Look at
they
Ryan
play Coors.
McMahon. I
Yeah.
think he's in like 100 for the Yankees. But yeah, Colorado's 26.
The Reds are impossible to place because they could be in the top 5 like record wise, but when they're bad, they are not playing
Mhm.
as they should. They are legitimately the worst offense in baseball according to WRC plus, and then pitching they're way outperforming their expected numbers.
Because is there OPS that you can quickly sort? Because that doesn't do ballpark, I don't think.
no?
Does it?
It's just on base plus slugging, but I can or they don't have.
Then it's
OPS.
fine. It doesn't matter. It might include on. So it doesn't
can do
matter.
WOBA.
Reds.
I can sort by WOBA, which is weighted on base.
Do that. I don't know. It doesn't
I can
matter.
tell
The
you
Reds
their
are
OPS.
the Reds are kind of
The team OPS. Here, keep talking.
the Reds are just very unusual right now. Look, we're only 25 games in though, so there's can still be a lot of time, stuff that changes and stuff. But we have 2 more NL Central teams, 2 NL West teams, an NL East, and then only 1 AL team left because the AL has been so weird this year.
643 team OPS, and they're in the first place. So yeah,
They have a 299 on bitch.
Yeah, below 300 on base percentage, and they're this high. So now here's where we kind of have. I think we throw the Pirates. Wow, this is really high for the Pirates. They're the worst out of this bunch. I can just tell you. I don't.
Yeah, because Bray. Hang on. I don't know anything about the Yankees though.
They're good. They're
6th. Where's
sixth in
pitching?
hitting, They're
Third.
So
Okay.
the Yankees are definitely not here. Pittsburgh is 12th in pitching and 8th in hitting. So they're actually
They're
not
sixth.
terribly bad. No, they fit right in. This is a good spot for them. I think the Braves are probably next, but it's not like their fault just because they're not healthy. So the pitching side, they're 14th, but this entire rotation's banged up. Second best offense in baseball, though.
They have the best record in baseball.
Okay.
Padres and Dodgers are tied. I think we go Yankees, honestly. You kind of look
Third in xFIP and then sixth in offense,
because Braves are second in offense.
but they're 14th in pitching. But
Yeah,
second best record in baseball, so you do have to account for that. The Cubs
are
aren't
bad.
pitching.
Cubs have the
Cubs are-
longest win streak in baseball, though.
That's fair. I just feel like we're gonna get some bias. All right.
That's not bias. We took the Phillies down because they have the longest losing. Cubs have the longest
Okay, the
winning.
Padres are 23rd in hitting. I think they have to go fifth. Okay, and then I think we go. I mean, the Dodgers aren't playing. Okay, well, they have the best offense in baseball by like a wide margin. For perspective, Atlanta has a 121 WRC plus, and as the second best offense in baseball, the Dodgers are at 133.
So I say Cubs won.
But
right?
pitching wise, the Dodgers are 11th in xFIP. So
Yeah, Patrick Bailey hit a homer yesterday to win the game.
like I think we go. So like they're like the Yankees are higher in both categories. Are the Yankees? The Yankees have 16 wins or 15 wins.
15.
Okay, I think we go Yankees in fourth. But so like
Braves have the best run differential in baseball. Or yeah, they have even better than the Dodgers.
so, I don't know.
Yankees 4.
The Cubs are the only team out of these three teams that are top 10 in both xFIP and WRC plus, the two categories we've been using.
All right, works for me.
No. Okay. So this is hard because
They got Mo Baller.
that is true.
No,
This
no
is
other
a hard
teams
pick.
got
Like
the Mo.
this is where it's these early season power rankings. So how do you
here,
pick?
We'll go ahead and shut the camera off because we'll be putting in the 2 and stuff.
Yeah.
If I can figure out how.
So I think this is a hard spot with these two teams or these three teams. The Braves, best record in baseball. Pitching, I think, but power rankings you kind of have to account for injury. But like you got to think they're doing this being the 14th best pitching in baseball.
'Cause Snell-
and the team's hurt. too.
Snell's out for Dodgers. Is Glasnow also out?
I don't.
Do you
think
want
so.
to? Do you want
I can,
to
like,
just
look
look
that
at?
up, but-
I know Snell's out because he just made a rehab in single A. Padres. Really quick, we can say the Padres signed Lucas Giolito, so
Also, just so
he.
you know, the Dodgers are second in the division. Be a tiebreaker.
Yeah, but so the
Glasnow's active.
okay, so
3-2-4, 29 strikeouts. He's been good actually.
but so the Padres signed Lucas Giolito because their starting pitching is just who knows what
Decimated.
it's
But they're fourth in xFIP. I think they're high in ERA too. Like they've legitimately been good.
it's Walker Buehler, Matt Waldron, Herman Marquez,
Not Reynaldo Lopez.
Vasquez,
Randy Vasquez.
Randy
He's been
Vasquez.
really good. He's like
and
he's
then
legitimately a real starter for them.
and then who's their only actual real pitcher? Like
King.
So and then they got Griffin Canning coming back. They signed Lucas Giolito. They got Musgrove. He's had a setback for his
the
Tommy
Padres,
John.
with all that, are seventh in ERA. The Braves are tied for first in ERA, like actual team ERA, and they're decimated by injuries.
Bryce Elder, he looked like he was going to be Alek Manoah out of the league, kind of, where he was good for a season and then just kind of lost it. But I think it was over the offseason, talked to Greg Maddux, Cubs legend, Braves legend, whatever you want to say. And Elder talked to him about, and I can't remember exactly how it went, but Maddux told him about using his cutter more, and now Elder's got a sub 2 ERA.
All right, so we wanted to use on-field performance. Also, I think throw the Braves at 1. They tied for first in total team ERA. They're winning games without their best team on the field.
Remember last year when we were putting them like 20th? I remember.
They didn't make the playoffs. It wasn't.
I know.
Like,
I'm just saying it was funny that
we had to move them up because they were like 0-7, but it's like we can't put them at last because it's the Braves. And
who's the Braves this year? Mets.
Mets, Phillies,
Well, one of
Red Sox, any of those like 3 big markets down there.
I guess.
And then I think we're gonna have to go. I don't know. The Dodgers on the field have the best offense in baseball, and then in just regular ERA, the Cubs are 4th and 5th in ERA, and are separated by 2 runs. So I think the Dodgers go in second, the Cubs go in third.
Yeah, but we're both Cubs fans, so
No, we did this last year. We
No.
we fought super hard when the Dodgers were actually good last year to not have them in one any chance we could get. They're not in one because the Braves have been absurd this year. But yeah, I think this is where it goes. I love how there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 consecutive AL teams, and they're all from 2 divisions.
Do we swap Padres and Pirates? Because you said Padres were like 23rd in hitting.
And that wasn't expected either. Like they are just.
So like, do we swap them? Because like the Ozuna's hitting now. Lau's insane.
The Pirates, they're third in actual ERA. So we could switch. The Pirates are a top 5 team in these power rankings. Dude,
I just threw up in my mouth.
To be fair, like the Reds literally should be at like the Reds could probably be below the A's, and I'd be fine with it. Like,
former producer Brendan Gay gonna be very happy with these.
Like, look at it, like Braves, good, like always good, except for last year. Dodgers, best team in the history of the sport for the last 10 years. Cubs, big market, made the playoffs last year, good again. Yankees, been
Best
really
team
good
for the 10 years before the Dodgers.
Yeah, the Yankees are really good, and then there's Pittsburgh Pirates. Yeah, this is our power rankings. We tried to use like on the field play. Like there's so much variability to the early season of Major League Baseball with like the stats you can even use. Like the Reds, this is simply because of on the field product. They're not good. Like it's hard to say that they're not good, but they are not good at baseball.
Yeah,
I mean, like they're 8th in team ERA, yes, but like the expected ERA is so much lower, and that's an easier stat. That's literally just what your ERA should be.
And that's part of Andrew Abbott all of last year. He was an all-star and stuff, but like his expected numbers were all worse than his real. So I bet Andrew Abbott's still doing fine, but the expected is not doing fine. So it's just
Seattle, they're 12th in WRC plus and 60th in ERA at this point. So that's why they're kind of high. Like that entire the Mariners could be higher, but it's like we have 4 AL West teams in a row.
Yeah, but Seattle's 11 and 15.
Really bad, though, power ranking. They were like 5 and 10.
Their last.
They're probably like 6 and they're probably 5 and 5. I'll be honest with you.
They're 4 and 6. They're 4 and 6. They're 1 and 8 away. They don't. They're the Astros in 23, but flipped. So yeah, it's interesting. The early season baseball, it's hard to kind of see. I don't think that will continue. I think I'm biased towards the A's, but I think the A's will be I think the Kurtz.
They'll be a contender for the playoffs. That entire division will be that. I think the A's are the only team that I don't know how sustainable it is because it's literally they're being supermanned by Jose Soriano and Mike Trout has returned.
Yeah.
It's not old Mike Trout, but like he's hitting 260 with a near 1,000 OPS. So it's not the original Mike Trout, but he's kind of found a new second leg, which should be huge for him to have sustained success. The Rangers are doing what they've done every year since the World Series. They're not hitting, but they're pitching. So they're the one team that I expect just because like the hitting is not really sustainable.
Yeah, but Kurtz is at 13 straight games with a walk. And
he homered yesterday. So.
Yeah, but 13 walk like in 13 straight games he has a walk. And like it's not like and that's 2 away from the franchise record. I think Ricky Anderson and maybe one other guy has 15. So Kurtz only needs 2 more. He started off this year really slow. I have him fantasy, so like it was very not fun to play him. But now he's really starting to heat up. Hit a homer, tie the game. Unfortunately, their bullpen, some random came out and just didn't shut it down. So if the A's are contending, they could be potential to go and make a trade, though, for sure. I mean, the Mets have probably the guys you can go trade for at the deadline if they're still playing like this. Yeah. But Devin Williams and Luke Weaver have struggled mightily.
I mean, it's a really weird start because, like, I mean, like the Mets really aren't even like that terrible. Like if you use the expected numbers, like them and the Phillies aren't like they lead Major League Baseball like xFIP, but the offenses have been horrific and they're losing a bunch of games. So
also, I think we're almost done, but I think we have to mention Mason Miller.
Oh yeah, that's been the biggest story probably of the major league season. The rookies are playing well too, which has been cool. Like we have a lot of young guys playing really well. They've cooled off.
Griffin hasn't been hitting, and the Pirates are 5th.
They've cooled off for sure, but they're like the water was really good to start the year.
Sal Stewart
Sal
for the
Stewart was
Reds.
really good
He's
to-
like the only guy that's really hitting.
And Elliott has 8 homers.
Yeah. So really quick shout out Sal Stewart as well for the Reds.
But overall, the biggest story is Mason Miller is going to win a Cy Young.
Maybe.
Hopefully. I want him to because I would love to see a reliever win Cy Young.
I mean,
And the door's open. The door has been.
Otani's got a .38 ERA.
But Cy Young. He's going to win MVP. We know he's going to win MVP. But the Cy
He has a
Young
.38. Miller's is higher, I think. Or has he not let up a run
He
at
hasn't
all
let up
this
a run,
year?
yeah.
Okay, so never mind.
No, he's let up. Mason Miller's let up 2 runs since he became a Padre, and it was on 1 homer. It was on 1 swing, so.
So,
And it was on a 104 mile per hour fastball too, which is like the funniest thing. Like it wasn't even like a bad pitch.
it's because, if you look at a Statcast, everything's red, but average checks, if you look, because if they hit the ball,
Like if you make contact.
if you make contact with it, it's going to be hit hard.
because
Just
nobody hits
'cause-
the slider. You just have to
Hit
try. You have to hope and pray you can catch up to 104, and when you catch up to 104, it comes off the bat.
Ian Happ did. Ian Happ has hit a homer off Mason Miller when he was an A.
Trust me, nobody hit it off him when he was a Padre in the playoffs last year. He
Doesn't matter.
We won.
still won.
He diced us though in 3. Did he pitch? No, he didn't pitch in the game. Did he pitch in game 1?
I don't remember.
I can't. He might have pitched in all 3 games. I can't remember.
I just
though.
remember. I
He
know
was-
Brad Keller left a homer. Kitchen tried to
remember-
come in for the
I remember
save.
Miller threw the pitch on the corner. He threw like 104 low and away to Dansby, and it was literally like
Pain.
barely touching.
It was
And
Colin,
but
it was
like-
Colin Reyes,
Yeah.
Colin Ray like painting.
but 104 instead of 89.
So that will be it for power rankings. I don't know if we'll do it again. I don't.
More graphic ranking with showing the statistics that we use. It's okay. It's kind of hard to visualize what we're looking at, but
So, but yeah. So this power rankings. This is kind of new idea format for how we did it. Us being behind the desk, but it's able to for us to control it and not have to have just 16 graphics of each change. And it makes it so we can have all 30 on one screen as well. Because I know last year we would do like 5, 5, 5, 5.
Or it was 4.
It was 4. It was 4, and then it was both of ours. This one is more cooperative, figuring it out and stuff. But yeah, very fun to be able to do this again. We'll see if we can do more shows for sure. But yeah, this will be it for Tone the Rubber. I'm Devon Olsman,
I'm Johnny Clumpy.
and maybe see you next time.